When you're triggered and you really want to understand why, you will feel resistance. You will feel that it's like a push and pull.
Yeah.
Because your mind is created to protect you. And sometimes the answer to those triggers are hard to deal with. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Perspective TV, the talk show that discusses the highs, the lows, and everything in between. Today's topic is, how well do you know yourself?
Gee, yeah, not much at all, man.
Honestly, same.
Yeah,
and that's bad. Why I chose the topic for today, because I found that recently I have been shocked by my behavior. It almost feels like I don't know who's operating inside of me, making these decisions, because sometimes I find that I will respond, react, feel some sort of way, and I'm like, why did I do that? Why did I feel that?
Yeah,
you know, who is this?
Especially in like social situations sometimes, when there's a lot of different energies and personalities working around you, and sometimes you get involved in the conversation and then you respond in a way where it's like, I don't really even think that was true. I was just saying that to continue the conversation.
Right.
And those things I know have happened to both of us, and we both beat ourselves up so much, and I think that goes a lot into this conversation that we're having.
Exactly. And so I decided to challenge myself and write down a list of questions that I felt really summarized getting to know ourselves. I did some research and I found that really you can simplify this. But It gets really deep.
Yeah.
Sure, it's simple. It doesn't mean it's easy.
No, it's not.
Right.
It's not easy.
No, it's not. And so today I will be asking Michael 3 questions. And he doesn't know what these questions are. And we will see his responses. And I strongly encourage all of you to engage in answering these questions as well. If you need to pause the video to reflect, please do so. And then we'll have a part 2 to this video as well. There will be another 3 questions.
Let's do it.
Okay, so question number 1.
Oh, God.
How present are you throughout your days? Meaning, not worrying about the future or thinking about your past. It doesn't even have to be worrying, like even fantasizing.
The moments that I'm present are the moments that I lose track of time then.
That was beautiful. Yes.
I don't lose track of time often because I'd say for about 75 or 80% of the time I'm working. I'm forcing myself through it, or I'm aggravated about it, or I'm trying to get it done, which is causing me to be in a state of anxiety. It's causing me to place stress upon my body and my mind. And if I'm forcing myself through something, the only reason is because I'm inducing a self-suffering. This is self-destructive. I'm projecting the future. I'm trying to get it done. I want to be done. I'm racing to the future. I don't want to be here right now is what I'm saying. And I'm complaining all the way through my shift. That's me not being present. Because if I were fully immersed in the present moment, I would connect with whatever it is I'm doing, right?
Exactly.
I'd say if I had to distribute percentages in my day, I'd say 70% of the time I'm not present.
Wow.
30% of the time I am present. Because although that does happen to me, I'm still able to catch myself, connect, find a way to be thankful, grateful, enjoy, and take things one step at a time.
Now 30% is a lot.
It's pretty good.
But 70% is still a chunk.
It's a majority.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was trying to be nice. And so, how does that make you feel?
Okay.
When you're trying to run away from what you're currently battling through? How does that make you feel?
I know a majority of the world goes through this on their day-to-day schedules at work.
We all do.
Can't wait for Friday. Monday morning. Come on, Friday, right? How does it make me feel? It's a form of suffering. I'm causing suffering upon myself that I don't need to be causing to myself. I'm creating the suffering, me. It's all my own mental processes. Instead of finding a way to be grateful for the situation I'm in and connect with what's in front of me, because there's so much to observe in a given moment when you're present, and so much variability and uniqueness in every present moment. But coming back to that and detaching from the suffering is a habit. Just like being suffered, and just like suffering, self-induced suffering is a habit. And I'm getting better over time. It used to be 100% of the time I was suffering.
So when you were trying to get out of that suffering, did you understand that it was because you weren't present?
Yes.
You understood.
I understood it.
Did you affirm it on a daily basis? I need to be present.
Yes. It took a long time.
This is exactly why I asked this question, because truly we are the observers of our circumstances, of our lives.
Mm-hmm.
What that means is that, I said this in Love versus Lust, we are the souls inside this flesh form.
Right.
Right?
Right.
And if we really, really, really think about it, the soul never dies. Never dies. And what is it? Energy is never created nor destroyed. It is only transferred.
From one place to another.
Exactly. Yeah. And if you really think about this, it does not mean that what has happened to you in your life isn't you. No. It means that you have simply observed this. It means that you're simply living in an abandoned, broken down home, a beaten home. And you must rebuild that home in order to live a meaningful life.
Some people don't want to walk through the construction site and open the front door and take a look inside, though.
Exactly.
Some people, they don't want to. They don't want to break down those walls and start that over. Why? Because the destruction of the ego is one of the largest things that people fear on the planet, on the face of this earth.
Mm-hmm.
Why? Because they feel they are nothing without their pride. They feel they are nothing with all of these conclusions they've drawn up about themselves and the world.
Right.
It's not scary breaking down that burnt, abandoned home that you've built for yourself or that has happened to you in your life.
It's scary. Yes, it's scary. But would you rather suffer and stay in that home? Or would you go through that construction to live in your dream home? And that's your choice. This is a choice. Now, the obstacles that we face is not a choice. Most of us, we're not given an option. But we have gone through it.
You do have an attitude and a perspective that you can project in those circumstances.
Exactly. And the most important thing is to understand that you need to be present in order to heal. To heal, in order to heal, you must feel. Feeling equals healing. And it's that simple, but it's not easy.
Great.
And so when you're present, you embody all of these emotions. You're feeling all of these sensations in your body. You're frustrated. You're angry. You don't want to think. You don't know what to do. But if you sat in that, you'd find wisdom.
Yeah.
But the more that you suppress that, you're only breaking down a window in your house. You're only tearing down the walls even more. And guess what? It's going to come up again. It's going to come up again. It will arise. And so that's question number 1. And I really want you guys to think about this deeply. It's beautiful that you're at 30%, but like I said, affirm it and keep moving forward. Every single day, remind yourself, present, present, present. I promise you will get there.
How does this look?
How does what look?
When you're walking, think about you. One left foot, one right foot. Mm-hmm. One left foot, one right foot. When you're clicking the elevator button, let me click this elevator button. When you're getting in the elevator, let me click this button. What does this button look like? What does this wall look like? That's being present. But let's move on.
Yes. Okay. Question number 2. Are you aware of your triggers and what might set them off?
I'm aware of my triggers.
Mm-hmm.
I'm aware of my triggers, but I usually suppress my triggers And then I'll get triggered again and think it was a previous trigger.
And think it was a previous trigger?
I suppress triggers, so I don't know which trigger is triggering me. So if I get triggered, if I deal with it right there, I know what it is. I know why I'm feeling this right now.
Right.
But if I get triggered and I ignore it because I'm busy, and then I get triggered again, maybe it was that trigger or maybe it was this trigger. Which trigger is it?
That's being present too. That correlates with being present.
Not dealing with the trigger right there in that moment confuses my psychology. So for me to know myself, I need to deal with my trigger immediately. Say, hey, I know what that is.
Look at you. You know exactly why I'm asking you these questions.
What do you mean?
Because I asked, are you aware of your triggers? And you said, in order to know myself, I must understand.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, that's my short answer. I think that was enough for me.
Yes. So as soon as you are able to recognize your triggers, like he said, you're able to identify where things stem from, and then give yourself compassion for it, and then grow. And
this is so important because I know people deal with this. As soon as you're triggered, as soon as you start feeling something weird, sit and wait and pause. Why? Why is this happening? What happened? Tell yourself the truth though.
And you know what happens too? When you're triggered and you really want to understand why, you will feel resistance. You will feel that it's like a push and pull.
Yeah.
Because your mind is created to protect you. And sometimes the answer to those triggers are hard to deal with. And they're not easy. And they hurt you.
Yeah, that's very true.
But it's important because, like I said, with being present, you must embody all of the emotions you feel in order to be your greatest self, in order to understand who you are. So the more that you suppress your triggers or the more that you run away from the present, you're honestly just walking further away from yourself. And that's the truth. And with every topic, with every question that we ask today, there will be individual episodes regarding them so that we can further explain what a trigger is, what it looks like to be present, and so on and so forth. But that was a beautiful answer.
Thank you. We got one more?
And the third question for today. This one's a really good one. Are you aware of how often you lie to yourself? You deceive yourself.
It usually involves when I force things. So
what do you mean by that?
If I try to muscle through a mental problem, I lie to myself. I'm a beast. I don't got to worry about this right now. I got it in the bag. I'm good. I don't get tired.
I don't think that's bad though. But are you aware?
I am lying to myself.
But you're aware of that. Are you aware
in
or
those
do you
moments,
believe it?
No, in those moments I believe it. My ego flares.
Okay.
My ego flares and it says, you know what? You're right. Yeah. Go do it.
Yeah, so
go do that.
It only feeds the ego. Absolutely.
Anything that's feeding my ego, making me feel like I'm unstoppable, that nobody understands me, that I have the right view on life, anything that feeds those perspectives, I'm lying to myself. But in those moments, I believe it. So yeah, I do lie to myself sometimes. Because sometimes I feel that's the best option temporarily.
Temporarily. Does it affect you or does it help you grow?
It only increases my suffering.
You see, when you're not aware of your lies, that's the outcome. But in my opinion, this is my opinion, I believe if you're aware of what you're telling yourself and you know that it's not true, it's not feeding the ego, but you're only saying it to push yourself. I do that a lot in the gym, if I'm not going to lie.
I'm saying this in a very calm state right now.
Yes.
Sometimes when I'm angry or I'm stressed out, or if I'm going through something, I have to make myself believe something. A lot of people are like this. Everybody's like this in one way or another. And you believe them in those moments. But sometimes when you sit and reflect, you're like, it doesn't seem like the world and nature and the universe works that way. I'm lying to myself. And now I'm suffering. Why? Because Now I don't understand my anxiety. Now I'm depressed. Now I'm overly stressed out. I have an unstable mood. I'm overeating. I'm binge eating. I've gathered all of these traumas because I've forced myself to not observe what is actually truthful in my mind and my heart.
Wow. And what that made me realize, you're absolutely right. And what that does is it makes you miss out on your blessings.
For sure.
Because when you're not doing that, you're actually telling yourself the truth and how much something may suck. And because it sucks so bad and you want to practice self-love, you may walk out of that situation and then find a better opportunity. That opportunity could be there waiting for you.
That's so
true. But you're
true.
too busy here forcing yourself through something that's giving you pain and suffering.
Yeah. It's like
Wow.
God's like, yo, this is where you need to be.
This is why you're
I'm
feeling
nah.
this way. You're feeling this way so that you can get out of it. But what you do instead is you talk yourself through it to pump yourself, feed that ego.
Yeah.
But it only pushes you further away from the path that you were destined to be on.
1000%.
Wow. You see that? Like, that was crazy because I truly never looked at it like that. But I do that as well.
We all do.
Yeah, we all do that. And that's a big one.
Yeah. Well, that's a whole separate episode too.
Yes.
But I think it is time to start wrapping it up now.
Yes, I agree. So in the next episode, we'll have 3 more questions. So stay tuned for that.
These 3 questions are just the beginning process. It's like a diagnostic test. Mm-hmm. Where do you stand with yourself right now? How well do you know yourself? So if you were able to answer those questions truthfully with yourself, you're on a good track.
Yeah.
You're doing a good job. So
that is step 1.
Definitely.
Always reflecting and being truthful is always step 1.
Right. So we thank you guys so much for being here today. Today's episode was about getting to know yourself. Mm-hmm. We thank you guys for being here today. We are going to be posting on Tuesdays and Fridays. You're going to find all the information in the description of this episode. We thank you guys so much. We'll catch you guys on the next episode.
We thank you and we love you guys. Bye.